Hey guys, welcome back to JD Mods. I am standing in the engine bay of my 1992 Mazda RX-7. This is of course my FD RX7 project, and today we're going to make more progress on it. In the last video you saw me repair the firewall. This car was an LS swap in its past life. It has been off the road since around 2009, and I'm basically restoring it from the bottom up, as you can see. And what we're going to be doing today is continuing the prep work for paint. Not the most exciting video, but hopefully you guys enjoy some of the satisfaction of seeing it transformed into what will eventually be a beautiful yellow rotary powered RX-7. So the next step is to a few things. We need to sand down the entire exterior and interior of the car. I can't handle when cars are painted with the inside being one color and the outside being another color. So not only am I painting the exterior and the engine bay, but I'm also going to paint the interior as well, because it's all out of there, and this all being one color would be very satisfying. So what that means is we have to clean the interior because it's been sitting for 15 years at least, and this car is 30, almost 31 years old now, and it's been the house for many mice over those 31 years. So I need to clean the inside before I can scuff up the inside to make sure I don't scuff up, just move the dirt around. I've done a good job of removing the old crappy paint off the engine bay. The engine bay was painted silver with some rattle cans and it was awful. So now it's just this nice red faded OEM color. We're going to go ahead and prep this thing for paint. Alright, without further ado, let's dive right in. So as you can see over here, I'm going to be painting the whole interior as I mentioned. And as you can see, this is where a wire harness used to be, and in tons of spot in the interior there's this kind of like junk from a mixture of the old insulation, probably some mouse poo, dirt. The whole interior looks like this. Let me go and show you guys some of the spots where it looks like that. Excuse the vibration here. So there's a bunch of dirt. You can see down into that cubby, it's very dirty as well. Moving up there, not as bad, but still definitely prominent. Moving down that kind of frame rail area, quite dirty as well. Top of the shock tower, a little bit dirty as well. The other cubby, super dirty, super gross. Look at all the dust and dirt and all that junk. Spare tire well, of course. Way too dirty to paint. My little repair. But anyway, super dirty. It continues like that pretty much the entire length of the car. Let me get one more before shot for you. Tons more up there, super dirty. So what I picked up is this Bissell Steam Shot steam cleaner, and that is what we're going to use to clean the interior. So in a perfect world we could take my whole shell outside on some dollies and pressure wash it, but it's currently really cold outside. I can't use a pressure washer in the winter time, and this thing does not roll. So here we are using the Bissell Steam Shot. Let's go ahead and clean it up and see how it looks. Alright, so while I'm waiting for it to charge up over there, it gives me about, I think, around a minute or two of steam cleaning. I threw some gloves on because this is getting quite nasty, but here's a first look at the clean job it's doing. Quite amazing, I would say, especially in the seam seal in the middle of the screen. It gets all the dirt out of even the tightest grooves. In comparison, let me show you what it kind of looks like before, an area I haven't done yet. Just crazy the difference before, after. I did a little bit of the shock tower as well. The dirt and stuff was so bad, or maybe it was like ammonia in some mouse pee. It even took off some of the paint, so I'm really excited that I'm painting the interior over all that. It's going to make the interior smell so much better as well. Anyway, there's one more before shot. Let me do a time lapse of steam cleaning that area. So you saw me doing some steam cleaning in the back of the interior of the FD, and basically after the steam cleaning I actually just got out a bucket with hot soapy water, sprayed it down with some spray 9 cleaner, and went to town. And hopefully you guys can see the difference of how nice it looks now. Let me show you guys all the trouble areas. Sorry about the shadow. Show you over here. Anyway, it looks really nice now, super clean. But I realized that there's something else I have to do before getting to the interior. So I realized that before I clean the rest of the interior, I'm going to actually sand down the chassis, because I like to do wet sanding over dry sanding, because then I don't have to wear a respirator. It keeps the dust down, and what's going to happen is all that kind of gritty water is going to fall into the interior. Then I'm going to have to wash it out anyway. So I'm actually going to start nice and up top and do some sanding. Why not start on the roof? I'll do the pillars, and then so on all the outside visible surfaces I'm going to use 400 grit just to scuff it up so the new paint sticks to it. I might lightly go over with 600 just to make sure there's no lines, obviously. And then for all the jams, like where the windshield goes, the door jams, where the seals go, and kind of the spots on the inside of the fenders and the hatch, all the non-flat surfaces, I'm just going to use some Scotch-Brite or some balled up sandpaper if I have to, but I want to be sure to rough it all up to make sure all of our paint sticks really good. So let's go ahead and do some wet sanding. Took me about 10 minutes to wet sand the roof, and I'll show you guys what you do. Basically, once you're done wet sanding, there's obviously water left over, and it's really hard to see where you've got the clear coat scuffed up and where you haven't until it dries. You can see right here, the gray is what you want, but these two sections where there's like these stripes, I'll have to hit that again, but it's really hard to tell until it dries, obviously, because the water acts like a clear coat in itself. So while that dries, I'm just going to keep doing the exterior body panels, starting with the fenders. Here we are, it's the next day. It's had lots of time to dry. You can see on the ground all the sanding dust has dried white, and you can see the fenders and roof a lot better now. So you can see there's a few spots where I have to touch up. Basically where it's glossy is where the paint might not stick the greatest. Really happy with how it turned out. Wet sanding is a great technique. I used one standard size sheet of sandpaper to do the entire roof in one fender. So like a pack of 5 will probably do my entire car, just the shell anyway. So yeah, just a few spots to touch up. You can see a great example is right here. There's a bit of gloss and a slight bit of orange peel, so I'm going to knock that all down with 400 grit. I retract my statement from earlier about 600. I'm going to stick with 400 to make sure it has a nice surface to bite to. With all the areas where I can't get with my sanding block, I'm using my green Scotch-Brite. You can see it works quite well. Also, at the end of the day, that's all covered, so if it's not 100% perfect, it's not a huge deal. So I'm going to continue along with my side skirt, rear quarter, and then do the same on the other side. made a bit more progress. This is probably going to be one of my last before shots of the sanding. You can see it's all dull. It's dried again since I had to go out and do some shopping. But I was able to get all the door jambs real well. You can see there's still a few shiny spots I got to touch up. But I did the entire quarter panel. Here's a little funny shot where you can see all the colors this used to be. It was red, then blue, and then blue again. And now it's going to be yellow. But anyway, here's the main area I wanted to showcase. Kind of behind the tail lights. You can see it's dirty. Has a bit of like polishing overspray. And in this entire seal kind of tunnel, there's a lot of like overspray from the last paint job, so it's really like rough. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but the texture is really rough, which makes it hard to paint, and of course makes dirt and stuff get trapped in there. As you can see, it's really dirty. So to do that, I'm gonna use my Scotch-Brite, and then I'm just gonna finish sanding the shell, and I'll show you guys when it's all done. Made some big progress on the car. Basically all the outside, so all of the blue is done being sanded. Take you guys for a quick walk around. I haven't dusted it off or anything. I did wipe it down, but not dust it off. You can see it is all sanded down, no like clear coat spots left. Some of the dark spots are actually where I went through the clear coat down to the base coat, which is why they also look dull but not really shiny. Take you on a quick walk around. I did the whole rear end. I did the whole trunk area, which I mentioned right in there, which should make the paint stick really well. Obviously both quarter panels and fenders. The door jambs on RX-7s are really hard. Kind of in this area there's lots of seams and cracks and stuff, but I got it really well, especially with the Scotch-Brite. So now we're going to move on to the interior. I'm going to try and get some of the foam off. It's not a huge priority for me, but obviously when I paint the interior, it'll just get covered in paint, and that's kind of weird for me. So I'm going to try and get off some of that style foam, which is from the carpet, I believe. And there's also some of that kind of style foam down there. The other thing I'm going to do, I have over here a bucket of soapy water with some Scotch-Brite in it, and that serves as a two for one process where I will be cleaning the interior at the same time as I'm scuffing the paint, as I'm painting the entire interior as well. The wire wheel worked very well, as you can see, but it made a huge mess, so now it's time for some cleanup. It's amazing how much better that looks. It looks a little wet because I sprayed it down with some alcohol to do some degreasing, but you can see there's no more foam or that carpet material. All you see right here is where the wire brush kind of stirred up the tar-like sound deadening, it's called. So that is not a big deal. You can paint over that no problem. So the next step is for me to, with the Scotch-Brite and soapy water, kind of scrub down the entire interior, which will do a nice degreasing job, preliminary degreasing job I should say, and also scuff the existing paint for my new paint. There's the final product of the interior, mostly clean. I'm going to give it one more clean prior to paint. But I think that is where I'm going to end off today's video. Not a super exciting video as I anticipated, but to summarize, we have sanded down the entire outside of the shell. We have scuffed up the interior, cleaned it all up. Basically, the only stuff I have to do which I'll probably do off camera and not make a dedicated video of, is just a bit more tidying up on the engine bay with a finer grit sandpaper. We have to prime all of the bodywork and seam seal some areas, and then do one more big wash from top to bottom with nice soapy water. That is going to be the end of today's video. We should be painting this thing before the new year, so be sure to subscribe for that. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.